All right. Coming up, an online marketplace that pays you to share deals with your friends. We'll talk to the CEO of SHOP.CA after this. Online shopping is a growing trend in Canada, but there are a few factors still holding consumers back. Here's a look by the numbers. 78% of Canadians polled in a recent survey bought at least one product online last year. Most popular items are books, followed by electronics and fashion. 64% chose to shop online because of convenience. Many also say the costly shipping charges and the inability to return products can be discouraging. Amazon's Prime shipping service is launching in Canada, unlimited 2-day shipping for $79 a year. A Canada-only e-commerce site takes its offer a step further. SHOP.CA provides free shipping and free returns within a year for the millions of products available on its marketplace. Drew Green is the co-founder and CEO of SHOP.CA. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So just explain what it is, because it's an online marketplace.
Right.
Would you compare yourself to an Amazon?
You know what, we would compare ourselves very closely to an Amazon, but specifically focused on Canada.
I'd like to ask you a question about the basic building blocks of the fundamental investment thesis for your business. I make the assumption that you have a cost of acquiring a customer, and then that customer has a lifetime value. You'll always be profitable as long as the lifetime value is more than the customer acquisition cost. Have you achieved that?
You know, so we spent about a year building out the marketplace. So what we didn't feel was to, launch an experience that wasn't the absolute best we could make it for Canadian consumers. And so we spent a year building the business, and the investments we're making are not just for the short term, for this quarter or for this year. It's for the long term. But your sort of analysis of how an e-commerce business works is exactly on. So not only do we have a cost to acquire a customer, we actually have a cost to acquire a visitor before that. And it's very important for us to have customers come back again and again and shop with us.
One of the things you do that I think may be unique, but it's certainly been important for you, is monetize social network in a way that isn't very, very common. So people may like things, but you'll actually pay people for referrals that wind up in a sale.
Yeah, I mean, one of our core differentiators is our loyalty program. And so if you think about our loyalty program, the first thing is that it rewards back on every purchase. So we've got millions of products across 25 categories. Not only do you earn every time you make a purchase, but you earn when you refer a product to a friend through your social network or through another medium, and they're able to come back and make that purchase. You actually earn on that behavior.
I'd like to ask you a question that you must get all the time from institutional investors, and include me in this category, so I'll ask it for all of them. How is it possible that you can survive without getting crushed by the cost synergies of an Amazon, which has so much scale beyond what you have? Is there something unique to the Canadian market that will let you survive and not be crushed?
You know, Kevin, I spent 12 years in the U.S. before I came back to Canada to start this business. And, during that 12 years, a lot of entrepreneurs in the U.S. were asked the same thing. But I think what you saw is dozens of companies that built not only very big businesses, but billion-dollar businesses beside Amazon. I think in Canada, what we've lacked is a true market leader, a market leader that's Canadian. And so for us, there's definitely cost efficiencies that Amazon has in the U.S. They're investing more in Canada, but there certainly is room for Canadian leaders in this environment.
How can you do things like the free shipping and the return policy? How can you afford that? I mean, sort of to Kevin's point, that even the behemoths in the space aren't offering that stuff. How do you do it?
Well, I mean, I think the consumer knows that shipping's never free. There's always a cost to get a good from one place to the other. But what Canadians really deserve is transparency. So what we've faced the last 10 years is when we see a price online, mostly on a U.S. site, because over 50% of our purchases go to the United States, there's that price, then there's shipping, then there's duty, sometimes brokerage fees, and so it's just not a transparent experience. For us, shipping is part of that cost of the product.
Is there any strategy you have going forward that would partner you with retailers in Canada, big box retailers or others? Is that part of your model? Because it seems when I look at the successful stories today of niche e-tailers, they have some kind of relationship. Kobo is a good example. Mm-hmm. They partnered in getting their distribution done with the large booksellers. Can you do something like that to reduce the risk of the investor?
Yeah, I mean, I think so that's already happening. In the last 4 months, we've partnered with well over 100 retailers that join our marketplace on a weekly basis and make up the millions of products that we have. And we do have strategies in the future to partner with them even closer to make sure there's a Canadian business focus on the online buying experience here in Canada.
All right, it's great to have you here. Thanks for this, Drew.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Drew Green, co-founder and CEO, SHOP.CA. All right, coming up after the break.